What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Manchester United 2, Everton 0. Yes, a win. It was a win. We got there in the end. Wasn't a pretty watch by any stretch of the imagination. Wasn't the most incredible watch, was it at all? In fact, it was quite a painful watch at times. But it was a win nevertheless, particularly a much-needed win as we attempt, as we try, as we hope to maybe, you never know, get the top 4 spots and maybe get into the Champions League next season. I mean, I know I have to say these things, don't I? But in terms of an overall performance and overall watch, I mean, kind of just really what I expected, which was, you know, not a great watch. The football isn't great. But we're good enough to beat Everton at home because Everton aren't a great football side, really. And this season, they've struggled to score goals. So they sort of create half chances, this, that, and the other, but it's not really enough. And United to go on to win the game. When it comes to games against bigger, better sides, Liverpool next week, how do I think that's going to go? I think everyone kind of knows how we think that's probably going to go. But again, it's 3 points. So that's what we'll take. And that's what we'll move on to. It doesn't mean... And again, this is going to be an interesting show because we're in a very strange territory, I think, at the moment where if you're not content, but you just go, 3 points, move on, then people will get angry at you and say, no, but it's rubbish football. But if you focus on it's rubbish football, then you're being negative. You can't be positive. You can't be negative. That's the territory we find ourselves in at the moment, folks. It's a very strange one. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is the full-time view where members can call in and have their say. If you do wish to become a member, you can do so. Links in the video description below. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. You can also click the join button too. To become a member, you get your badges, your emojis, your exclusive members-only content as well. If you are a member and you do wish to call in and you do wish to have your say on the match, share your opinions, you can do so by going to the United View YouTube channel, go all the way over to the community tab, and you will see there it's a members-only exclusive post. The link to call in and to have your say. So let's get straight into it. Let's go with the first call. Let's go with Show. This is an interesting one because... did today go as you kind of expected? I mean, been talking so much about, sustainable football. It's not sustainable. It's not good, this, that, and the other. But did today go as you expected, which is a win, but kind of the same as what we've seen a lot recently?
Yeah, I think today's game went exactly as I expected because, look, we know Everton are bad. Let's be real. Everton are really, really bad. And I always thought we'd have enough to beat them today. I've given up on performances a long time ago. I'll be real. If you don't have it by March, you're not going to have it. Let's be real. So for me, it's just get as many points as you can till the end of the season and just see what happens, whether this manager stays or we get a new manager. But look, my thoughts on it, Owen. I don't enjoy watching this kind of football, and I don't think it's sustainable long term. I mean, one of my mates just messaged me saying that we've now only faced one less shot than Sheffield United now. So we're catching them up on that stat. We probably might overtake them by the end of the season. But what was it? Another 23 shots faced today. And funnily enough, they interviewed Ten Hag pretty quickly after the game today. They actually asked him about it, which they don't normally. They said to him, they asked him, you've now faced 134 shots in your last 6 games. What do you think? And he kind of deflected the question completely. So he can't be happy about that either. But look, it's 100% a tactical setup why we keep facing so many shots, because 20 plus seems to be the norm now, which is crazy.
Yeah. And I think that 20 came, I want to say 60 minutes into the game, 70 minutes into the game, so around that period of time. And it's weird, isn't it? Because it's not necessarily in an indication that Andre Onana's making all of these saves, because he's not. But I think, like you said, it just speaks to sort of a wider... well, they can get in a position to take a shot, or they can.
It's a wider issue, isn't it?
When they can have a shot, because it's not totally reflective of the game. Because I don't think maybe a couple of points in the game, you go, Everton are a bit on top here, or they're looking dangerous. But like you said, they're really poor. But it just sort of speaks to that. Like you said, that's the norm in the game of we're open. Then
we deserve to win today. There's no way I can come on. Yeah, we 100% deserve to win today. We were the better team. When you use the word better, the Man United, it's a bit better. How much better? Probably not a lot, but we were better than them. And like you said, they didn't create a lot of clear-cut chances, but the thing is, the teams we get away with it is like, for example, I know when we beat Luton 2-1, we conceded a lot of shots against them. Forest in the cup. Again, all those games we deserve to win. That's the thing. We deserve to win those. But again, it's one of those where when you face the better teams in the top half, when just the way that it works, the probability is that if you face 20-25 shots against a Brighton or a Villa, I mean, to be fair, we got away with it against Villa. So people probably say, why? We beat Villa at Villa Park, but then even that game, we both watched it and we were like, how the hell have we won this game? So it's one of them things where
saves. Yeah,
it's one of them things where like you're kind of always depending on Onana to bail you out or the defense, because we're looking week after week and we're always saying, bloody hell, Johnny Evans was great today. But we're never saying, one of the midfielders was great today or one of the forwards was great today. I thought Garnacho was pretty decent today, to be fair. But yeah, look, you know how I feel. I mean, it's like I would prefer a change of manager in the summer. That's just my preference. I'm not going to go at people who want Ten Hag to be the manager. I'm not, I mean, that's your preference. My preference is I would prefer a new manager, a new start, because I just don't believe in this style of football. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, and I think, and this kind of leans into sort of my feeling on it and my prediction on it. Like I've for weeks said my prediction is I don't think he'll be in the dugout next season. And the reason why is because I think, and we have seen, to give them their credit, Ineos are pretty ruthless and in terms of what they want and putting plans in place. I mean, already they're putting together, plans to build a new stadium already. And they've only been ratified for like a month or something like that. So I think that they've made a decision a long time ago. I think the only thing that would change it around would be if Eric Ten Hag somehow miraculously got top four. I think they would have a reconsideration on it. But that's why I've said I don't think he'll be in there, because I think if you play like today, we're not going to get those results that we would need to make that possible between now and the end of the season. Yeah. But, today, really, as we said earlier on, I think went exactly to type. Yeah. Deserve to win. We're better than Everton. It's not great to watch, and that's what it's going to be between now and the end of the season. I suppose then, looking ahead to the Liverpool game, with some players coming back, is there any hope? It's Old Trafford, it's the FA Cup. Liverpool's attention might be elsewhere. Cup is the cup. There's always hope. It's not. It's completely different. We can think in a different mindset. So it's a one-off game. Where I think Liverpool have got a huge benefit now is because they won 5-1 on Thursday in the first leg. They can rest that entire team on Thursday and be fresh for Sunday. So basically they can have the week off just like us, really. And I know they've actually got players coming back in time as well, conveniently for them. So. People like Salah and whatnot. So, yeah, it's a hard game. I actually think it'd be a tight game. I don't know why I think that, because we're shit. But, I think next week could be like 1-goal swing either way. I really do think that it could be 2-1 to them, 2-1 to us. I think it'll be a tight cup game. Yeah, well, when we played them at Anfield, we kind of brought them down to our level a little bit, didn't we? By how we played.
That's our only chance. That's what we have to do. That's what. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have to bring them down to our level. We know how we're going to set up next week. It's going to be defend, low block, and try and hit him on the counter attack with the pace of Garnacho and Rashford. We know that's it. I'm assuming Hoyland will be back next week as well. So at least we'll have a target man of some sort. But yeah, that's going to be the tactic. But yeah, cup game is cup game. We've got a chance. If you ask me to give a prediction right now, I would rather not give one. But we've got a chance. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and just finally, we were doing the match view. Casemiro is getting a lot of criticism. Where do you stand on his performance today and his future in the summer?
Casemiro, since I've seen him play at the beginning of the season, I said, look, he's having his Fabinho season. And I remember Liverpool fans last season, at the beginning of the season, when Liverpool fans would say, Fabinho's finished. And then in their own fan base, people say, no, you're being too reactive. But I honestly think last season, we got that last little bit out of him. And even towards the end of last season, you saw his performances deteriorate, in my opinion. So I honestly just think, I think his legs are gone. I just think you can see it. Like he's diving in like every game, which he wasn't doing last season. He just wasn't. And then his passing so bad as well, which to be fair, he's not a Rodri anyway. He's not a passing midfielder. No. I mean, his long range passing is decent, but his short range passing is awful. But we're asking him to do a role that he can't really do, which doesn't help either. Plus the system's bad, plus we're bad, so it probably makes him look worse. It's a whole mixture of things. But look, he's going to leave in the summer, and I think that's inevitable. I can't see him being here next season. So, yeah, I mean, we've got no option but to play him at the moment because the transfers have been so bad. Plus, obviously Mason Mount, who's the savior or whatever, he's injured. So yeah, we've got no choice but to play Casemiro. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's really not.
Big up, show. Appreciate you calling in as always. Long-time member, supporter of the channel. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the next call. Let's go to Santiago. Santiago, what did you make of everything that you saw today? Are you feeling good? You feeling bad? You feeling indifferent? How you feeling?
Big up, Owen. I think today really made me realize I do not want to be linked with any Everton players at all. I know we've seen rumors like Braithwaite or like the court. No, just no. It was not nice. Because as bad as we've been, somehow they were worse, and so I really just kind of wanted to, kind of share that bit. It's it's interesting. I feel like today was one of those games. I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch this.
I was gonna say, like, is this one of those games where you go, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna see how it goes, and then you get to the end of it and you go, whew, I'm a real fan. I'm dedicated because you got to be dedicated to get up early to watch that.
Yeah, you wake up and kind of it's something that you get excited for anyway. But it's one of those that at some point of the game, I was playing Candy Crush. I was like, man, this is and I realized like this is not entertaining.
Yeah, particularly in the second half as well. I mean, first half, because we obviously get the goals and, you go, okay, it's not great, but we'll see what happens second half. And then second half, just nothing happened, really. Nothing happened. Everton maybe threatened for a little bit. United looked very happy just to keep the ball. But how does that make you feel going into next week? Because obviously it's the big one next week against Liverpool. Is it even related, considering we're going to have some players back? How does it make you feel about next week?
I think with that, it's it's a rivalry game. It's a FA Cup game. It could swing either way, really. It could be a tight game. It could scam a win. We could potentially get battered. It really just depends. I don't know. I would love to see just tears on Klopp's face because we won.
Yeah.
It's just the rivalry.
Yeah.
Something about it. But I think it's as long as Ten Hag is able to be flexible and not be so stubborn with some of the ways that he set up this season, I think you could potentially pull a win. It just depends on whether he decides to be a little bit flexible or not.
God, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly, Santiago, because today, I mean, I know we're going to have players back, so it might be a little bit different, but if Liverpool play to the level that we know, we're in big trouble, basically. But you never know. You might get sort of a defensively amazing performance. Johnny Evans today, let's talk about him. He got a standing ovation when he came off.
Yeah.
What have you made of him, not only today, but also just this season in general? Because he got so criticized. Remember, he played the game on tour in America, didn't he, against Wrexham? And we were all like, oh my God, this guy's done. But he played at the Etihad last week and he was injured as well. And he still played well today. What do you make of Johnny Evans?
You could argue that he might be our best defender this season. I mean, because just because of the, Leach has been injured. Varane's been kind of in and out. Maguire's been all right. Lindelof playing left back, I guess, not really been too much in the squad. But Johnny Evans has really just been probably the most stable and the most consistent out of all of our center backs. So it's one of those that it's really been a surprise of the season. It's one of those that, in theory, we should not have had to rely on him and we should not have had to sign him to have a defense really, but it's been a welcome surprise, and I personally would not be against keeping him on even for like a year or two, just kind of that player coach type of a role, especially if we're depending on how we move in the summer. If we do end up signing any more young defenders or any new defenders, right? It's always nice to know that you have Johnny Evans just as a backup. I mean, he was what, our fifth choice center back. Now he's
Yeah.
one
Well,
of our
maybe he can do
starters.
next season the role he was meant to do this season, which is not really play, but kind of mentor and just be good to have around. The fact that he's played as many games as he's had to, and he's done well, I think is a credit to him, but also just goes to show sort of the state that we are in at the moment as well. I mean, once again today we play without a recognised left back. Lindelof has to play at left back once more. We don't have a left back for the rest of the season as well. Like, what do you think about that situation too? With Ten Hag saying that Malacia, sure, doesn't look like they're going to be back, or maybe for the last few games, and also Reguilon was let go because I was told by the medical department I'd have two left backs, and now I don't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that raises some huge concerns on our medical department, really, because why were we told that that's the case? And I don't know. I think something I feel like is going on with Malasia beyond injury, because there seems to be no communication about it. There seems to be just very every time Ten Hag's been asked about it, he's just very aloof about it. So it's kind of a weird situation. I mean, even if he is injured, there seems to be like there could potentially be something else. I don't know, but I mean, other than that, it makes you wonder like why we let go of like what all the other left backs that we had like Alvaro Fernandez and stuff. I mean, he looked all right in preseason. I'm not saying he should be our go-to guy by any means, but when you're dwindling in options, then why did you let Reguilon go back to Tottenham? And then why did maybe not do like a recall of any of the loans that we have? I know. I mean, we're not even going to talk about Brandon Williams because he's not even playing for Ipswich.
I know.
Um, but it makes you really wonder what's going on with the advice that Ten Hag is getting, or what some of the decisions are just puzzling, I will say.
Yeah, absolutely. And very quickly, prediction for next week against Liverpool?
Oh man, I can't. I don't even know. Let's go. Let's just go on good, positive vibes. I guess 2-1. Why not?
2-1. There you go. I didn't really believe Santiago believed it himself, but he went with a 2-1, so we'll take it. What are people saying in the chat here at the moment? Day says United should have lost today. Poor job by Everton for those pens, but United was wide open again. Good blocks, but Everton are crap. Haven't won the Premier League since mid-December. I don't know if United should have lost today. I think United deserved their win. It was just a game between two really poor sides. Like, it's really rubbish. Everton, like you say there, they haven't won in 11 games. And as much as they threatened, Onana didn't really have to make any big saves, like you said, a couple of blocks. But I think United deserved to win. That's not to say United were amazing, because they weren't. It was just a very bad game of football, really, I think, as well. What else are people saying here in the chat here at the moment? Genghis Khan Jr. Wow, says Junior says Big Rasmus will do the business against the Scousers next week. Ridwan says the sample of Casemiro's impact in his debut season was so monumental overall within the season. The drop off this season is so visible. He had more of a connection with the midfield three last season. I think with Casemiro, I just think today, like I said, his passing was so bad. I mean, there was a period of time in that first, 10, 15 minutes of the game today? It wasn't just Casemiro, but a lot of it was him. I think Ram was involved in it as well, Bruno. No one could pass the ball. Like, it was incredible. Like professional football, they could not pass the ball. It was nuts. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right hand corner. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Amanor. Amanor, what are your thoughts? What you say? Got the headset as always. What did you think of today? Did it go as you planned?
It did go as my plan. Thank you for inviting me. Just want to a couple of things. First of all, Owen, just for yourself. I didn't like the Flamingo comment against you. I thought there's a little bit of casual racism there. So Flex, if you're watching this, can you please stamp that out? So
I just sometimes people have the nerve to call me a bully. That's KG bullies me.
I know. I just want to say that just to stick up for you. But
yes,
the thing I'd say is I'm grateful for the win. First and foremost, let's not lose sight that we did get 3 points with 6. Given how poor we've played this season, I'm baffled that we're 6. We're not 6 mid-table team, to be honest with you. I think we're warranted to play probably around about 7th, 8th, 9th. Realistically, that's my view. But yeah, based on the players we've got so far and the way they're playing. But in terms of the match, I agree with everything, well, most of everything what Show said actually. So I'm not going to repeat that. But the only thing I sort of agree, and I'm going to pick you up on this as well, Owen. I actually thought Everton, unbalanced for 2/3 of the pitch, played the better football than us. I think what distinguished it was the fact that we were better on the moments and we were more clinical. Had Everton been a bit more clinical when they approached that final third, I think it would have been a closer match than that. So marginally, yes, we were better because we created 2 penalties, which resulted to the goals. But I think it's closer than what people make it to be honest. So that's something I wanted to push back at you on.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, I said that during the game that I did feel like Everton at half time would have probably said to themselves, well, actually, like, they had 2 penalties, but apart from that, I mean, how much did United really create? You know,
Yeah.
and Everton did have chances. So I don't necessarily disagree that Everton played the better football. Everton probably played the more football in the match
Yeah.
as well, particularly in the second half. United would just pass it sideways to see if something happens, whereas Everton did turn the screw a little bit. But as you mentioned, in those moments, United offered a bit more. And that's really, I suppose, is that what you kind of expect for the rest of the season, which is going to be in those kind of games, Everton at home, we're going to win. But if we've got a big challenge, i.e. like a Liverpool or a Man City away or going away to a difficult team that's even lower than us in the table, is that where we're going to struggle and still be inconsistent, I suppose?
I think we're going to be inconsistent, even with the players back. I'm not. They haven't shown me previously how they're going to reverse this play football. And I made some notes actually. I don't usually make notes, but I made some notes. In terms of play of the match, I do think it was Onana. I know BT Sport, TNT Sports, Garnacho. I just totally disagree. I agree with KG on this. I thought Onana is now impressing on me in terms of this is the keeper that we wanted. Yeah, and yeah, he didn't have to make many saves, but he's doing what I expect him to do. You know, coming for the ball like De Gea never did, and distributing. So I want to give him the play of the match. But like you, Owen, the most obvious thing I wanted to say actually, and I know you said this before, was our passing. Not just Casemiro, but we were unable to pass, especially in the first half. And
Yeah.
Casemiro's legs have gone. But putting,
And it's not the
even
first
if you
time you've said that this season as
No.
well. I mean, I remember you coming on really early in the season and saying, I'm really worried about Casemiro. I think he's
Yeah.
done. And at the
Yeah.
time, that was considered to be, oh, is that reactionary? But the more you see it, it's just kind of, he feels
Yeah,
like he's
and
petering out.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. If your legs are gone, you know, use a bit of intelligence, then pass the ball. It's not even passing the ball well. That's the worrying thing. So, and that's why, like everybody said here, he's now lunging to tackles. He's sliding more than he ever did last season, just because it's almost like desperation type of midfield play, which is a bit worrying for me. But like I said, we're going back to why I think Everton's played better in certain parts than us. I don't think transition football suits us based on the players that we have at the moment. Even with Luke Shaw Martinez back, maybe transitional football works. But this is where I blame Tim Hag as well. You say you know these players can't do this transitional type football, and we have 20 plus shots against us. Why are you still playing with this, knowing that your job's on the line? And this is why I agree with you. When end of the next season, I think Ineos made their mind up. Unless we get top 4 and we have a really good win the FA Cup, I think he's gone. And I would have liked to give the manager time next season, especially under the new structure. But you've got to earn that right to play. You've got to earn that right to be the manager for next season by winning enough games to prove to Sir Jim that you're the man. And he's just not doing that. And it's his stubbornness that's irritating the most.
I mean, when it comes to the game next week, FA Cup, I mean, you said he might need the FA Cup to save his job. Do you think he can pull a rabbit out of the hat next week? Do you think he can get that done, or is it going to be a bit of a massacre at Old Trafford?
I can't predict next week. I'm trying to get tickets for the match. I'm using a contact.
Yeah, you said
some tickets.
Yeah.
So in terms of next week, if Liverpool turn up, it's going to be like a 4-0, 3-0 result. Even with the players back, yes, Rasmus may be back. I don't know what's happening to Mount. God knows. Martinez, if they're back, remember they've not played, so they're not up to speed. They're not match fit, and we're expecting with them being back, and then to be playing at 90%, 100% against Liverpool. I just don't think that's going to happen. So for that reason, I do think it's going to be. It's a cup game. I know we can be ambitious. Say, yeah, we might nick it because it's the magic of the cup. But I just Liverpool are on a mission today. On a mission this season for Klopp. I do want to see those Klopp tears, but I think Liverpool might just nick it. That's my gut feeling on that.
Yeah, I just hope it's one of those things where it's the cup, the atmosphere, and that kind of sparks something for us next week. But of course, we play like that today. I think we might be in a bit of trouble, certainly. But big up, Amano. Appreciate you calling in as always. Long-time member and supporter as well, regular on the full-time view too. Let's go to Luyo says, Amano speaking with the spirit of Sean Dyche. Yes, wow. That happens to me a lot on the morning shows, by the way. In the morning shows, whenever I start reading something, suddenly I start going, it's the worst. And when you know that's happening, you can feel it and you go, I kind of need to do the big, like, clear of the throat. And when you need to do the big clear of the throat, you go, do I really commit to it? Do I try a little one? Sometimes you try sort of the little one and it's enough. You go, and you go, yeah, that was it. Then sometimes you need to go, no, you need to do the big flex, muted. He does all the time, and he says he doesn't, but he does. Okay, he definitely does. He goes, you're enhancing it. No, it's true, definitely do. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Chalaboy Comics.
How's it going, Owen? How you doing?
All right, I'm all good. Hope you're doing well. What did you make of what you saw today? 3 points, maybe a performance not totally to match, but did you again? Is that what you kind of expected today?
Yeah, 3 points. I'm watching these match views, and I'm sort of like, why are we so negative? We've already established that we're not the best team in the land. We don't have the quality of players. So when we win, we need to, be happy about it and take those wins when they come. And I think today was a positive performance, not in terms of how good we were, but in terms of the fact that we still created enough chances to win a game. I know we're talking about we just had the penalties, but actually Garnacho had 2 gilt-edged chances that maybe not to score, but to get the ball, in a dangerous area to then play. I think he overran one and then fluffed his lines on another. So I think he needs to work with Benny McCarthy on his finishing, because I feel like when he arrives into the box, he doesn't necessarily have his the power to keep going on the final 2 or 3 steps, when a defender is challenging him. So I would say I found it was a fine performance. Now the first 10 minutes was a complete horror show in terms of keeping the ball, and I couldn't help but think if Guardiola was the manager of, they call me a Smurf.
Well, they said, look, Lil Yo says Chalaboy's hiding his true thoughts under his beanie.
I feel like KG now, when he gets hit with the beanie talk. But anyway, it is a nice beanie. It's cold here. But anyway, so we had enough chances to like the first 10 minutes was terrible. I can't help but think, if Guardiola was our coach, for example, would he be screaming or killing his players in training with the amount of abuse they give the ball? Because we didn't treat it like a family member or a lover. We treated it like a true nemesis. We treated it like a true nemesis, and that was shocking to see. But I wasn't too upset with the overall performance, because I think we did create enough chances. We had the phase of play where we would get the ball, at our base, exchange 1 or 2 passes with Mino, Casemiro, Bruno, and then he'd be free in the pocket to spray those balls. And we had a few chances. I want to say that I thought it was kind of disgraceful, the officiating in some certain circumstances. Nikolenko's handball, I believe that was a clear handball. Maybe I'm wrong. And then the offside that they gave against Rashford, even when he was making that inside run, when he was on his halfway line, he was still in his half, and they called it offside before he got the shot away to get that. But anyway, but that's besides the point. I just feel like it was a decent performance, even though the quality on the ball was poor. Now, before we go into the next point, I actually started looking. I was like, why is it that we're so open? And what I actually found out was there 2 specific things we do that's terrible, that causes us to be misshaped and gives the opposition space. One of them is in possession, whereby when the passer, gives the ball away, the principle of football is pass and move. We do a pass and ponder, and then we move. So by the time we've given the ball to the teammate, we don't create angles and passing angles for him to give the ball back, and so that's causing us to the player who receives the ball to be under pressure, and when he's tackled, all of a sudden, there's a counterattack. And the second thing I noticed that we were doing a lot was that we would win the ball in our press, but once we regained possession, the first pass out of our press was often always very terrible. So when you have momentum where everyone's moving forward, and then all of a sudden, you lose that ball, you're on a huge counterattack. So I think these are, in a way, just player quality mistakes, as opposed to, oh, we're not, pressing well as a team. I think we do collect the ball quite often. We just don't use it when we do. So those are two things I noticed that we have to improve on. But, I'm happy with the 3 points.
What about Andre Onana today? Because kept another clean sheet, made a couple of saves, but he does. I mean, there was the report this week from The Athletic about how he sort of turned the corner and bounced back from some of the mistakes earlier on the season. Would you say he's really starting to settle in to that sort of number one position now, that United goalkeeping position?
I'm just reading the comments. They're cooking me, Owen. They are cooking me.
I'm trying. I mean, look, SLD says Chalobah will win every header as well. Yeah, they're saying as well. Someone said, it was Joe Blackman. This one's the worst. They said he's
win every header.
He looks like the leader from the Hulk. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, that's basically going what I mean?
This is terrible. They're cooking me. They're killing me, Petey. They're killing me.
That's like a villainous character, the leader with a giant brain.
I think it's the shadow with the sun. It's causing my head to look massive. But anyway, I shall continue and give this commentary because at least this is good. We're raising the spirits of the team at my expense, which is perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Now, captain material. But speaking of Onana, I think I'm with I'm with KG in that I believe that he was one of our strongest performers in the game because he's showing personality. I think that's the one thing that I want to commend Onana for, is that he hasn't, a lesser man would have crumbled under the mistakes that he made earlier. And I think that he's willed himself to become a regular. I want to actually give credit to Ten Hag about this, because he stuck with Onana when it would have been easy to potentially drop him. And he sort of was like, no, I've bought this guy. I'm going to keep him, in his starting position. And Onana has repaid that faith, with the manager. So I'm pretty happy with his performance. With goalkeeping, there's the 4 attributes of a goalkeeper: distribution, cross-claiming, shot stopping, and sweeping. And I think outside of his shot stopping, the rest has generally been really good. And now he's improved his shot stopping. So you're getting a greater net positive on his game. So I'm very proud of him. Long may it continue. But I think we should push and keep getting better as a team.
Lil Yo-Yo says Chalobah hides all his comic under his hats.
Oh my goodness. This is how I feel, because I do comedy too, and I feel like now I'm the other side where people are the ones making fun of me. So you have to give it, if you're gonna take it. So
when they start and they see something, man,
they go with it.
It's tough. That's strong. Big up Chalobah Comics. I'll put him out of his mercy. I know his misery. I'll show mercy to him. My goodness me. Out of the firing line, out of the sun as well. It's just, it was a tough one. That was and the worst thing is, then you got to do analysis. Then you got to draw it back in and go, well, Andre Onana, distribution, the 4 points of being a goalkeeper, and then you just take a little peek at the comments and go, Papa Smurf, Megamind. And that's the important thing to hear. Skiliano says he takes it well, though. Top lad. That's the thing. It's all fun. It's all love. And that's the thing with the UV community. That's all it is. It's all love. It's all fun. Big up to him. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Lucas. Lucas Chan. You had to wake up early for this today. Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it because we got the win. That's all I care about now.
Exactly.
I'm at the point of the season where it doesn't matter how. Just we got to get the win no matter what. all the way to the end of the season. Every game's a cup final, just like the coach said. So, and even the players are saying it now. I think Alejandro Garnacho even said it after today. He said every game's a cup final. So next game, Liverpool, cup final. Maybe not the cup final KG wanted, but still a cup final for us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how are you feeling going into that game next weekend? Has today done anything to make you feel more optimistic or confident, or is it just a one-off game? Anything can happen. We've just got to hope.
Oh, it's definitely not that off this performance. Hell no. But no, I'm hoping, honestly, we have like that game we had against them last season, where it was our third game of the season. Everybody said we were going to lose. We were going to get smashed. We were looking a lot worse, I thought, last year when we faced Liverpool at home. But that crowd was up for it, and then it just fed into the players. Rashford actually looked way more up for it today. I'll give him that. Everybody always say Rashford's jogging, he's not tracking back, but today he tracked back, I thought, quite often, and he looked a lot more up for it than he has been in a while. So I'll give him props for that, and which is kind of this is a bare minimum.
I know it's a low bar, isn't it, when it comes to Marcus Rashford, certainly. But look, he took his penalty very well. Where do you stand on Casemiro? A lot of people talking about him today because of the passing and diving into tackles. Do you think that's because his legs have gone? Do you think it's a case of sort of the tactical setup failing him as well? Where do you lay on the Casemiro point?
Honestly, he needs a runner beside him. I feel like even last year, he looked better when Fred was next to him. Casemiro looked better when Fred was next to him because Fred would help cover his lack of pace and lack of energy, it seems. And Casemiro kind of always had that straight pass in him, but it just seems way more often now. And it's really worrying. And we just don't have any midfield runners right now on our team. The only one who we do have is Mason Mount, and he's stuck in Jumanji with Malacia.
Exactly. They're stuck in Jumanji. Yeah, what year is this?
We don't know where they are and when they're coming back.
No,
so,
exactly.
But hopefully, we just need Wan-Bissaka back as soon as possible, just so we can have some better balance in the back with the wing backs, because that's really hurting us, I feel.
Although I would think Lindelof did well today, or he's done as best as he can in playing left back, certainly. And speaking of which as well, Johnny Evans and Raphael Varane, a combination I don't think anyone before the season expected we were going to be getting. But Johnny Evans did well again today, as he's done well all season. I mean, is he maybe up there with Rasmus as our signing of the season? Do you think, which is crazy?
I would say, yeah, he is, just because he was a free transfer. There's no fee, so you got to put him up there. Like Rasmus, I love Rasmus Højlund. I always said he would be good. Like, we just got to give him time. But when you pay 70 or what is it, 60, basically 60 million euros for Rasmus, and then you pay nothing for Johnny Evans, and Johnny Evans has been like so clinical defending and all blocks and just wearing his heart on the sleeve, like really showing what it is to be a United player. He's one of the only people this season, and him and Dallo just been wearing their heart on their sleeves.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say that's been a really, really blindside of a good signing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just finally, where do you think, or where do you sit on the Erik ten Hag issue as well? Do you think he's going to be in the dugout beginning of next season? Do you think Ineos have already made a decision? Where do you think his future lays?
I honestly think he will not be here next season. I don't think he will be. I think Ineos already have someone in mind. I really hope it's not De Zerbi. I'm not a big fan of De Zerbi, to be honest. He has a style of play, he sticks to it, but that's it. I don't think he has De Zerbi gets blown out of the water way too many times, and we cannot have that at United.
Well, we have had that, haven't we?
Exactly. But we've had it a lot less, and we still get scrutinized for every single thing. Like, this is Man United. We are, I'm going to say, the second biggest club in the world, next to Real Madrid, and like we get scrutinized so much more for every little decision we make, and I don't think we could take poundings like the Zerbi does.
No, I certainly hope not. Big up Lucas Chan. Appreciate calling in as always. Long-time member and supporter. Let's finish up with Lil Yo-Yo's got an unbelievable picture. I mean, look at this. Acting Kevin Gary. I mean, the only thing missing is the accent. That's the only thing that's missing from that. It's terrific. That's him in Death in Paradise. Be sure to check it out, guys. He's very good. He's a working actor. I don't know if you guys realize this.
He was absolutely fantastic in Death in Paradise, I must say.
Absolutely, he was. And that's not easy doing an accent as well. That's tough. He was, and not even as well. This is the other thing. It's an accent, but because it's a fictional place, you have to do like a really just broad accent. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just really broad accent. But yes, I had to talk about the game. What did you make of today?
So I brought up this character today because it summarized my opinions of this game. Booker St. John is my depiction of this game today. I think we limped our way through to a victory.
Yeah.
As we've been doing most of the season.
Yeah, it's true. And then, well, did we go into the game looking like that, or did we come out of it looking like that, do you think? Or just both?
Both. Literally. Yeah. The number of injuries, the style of play, the coincidental penalties that we were given because of Everton's fumblings in their defense.
Is it coincidental though? I mean, they were pens. They're
not legitimate pens, but the silliness from Everton, that the defenders, like they were just very clumsy in the way they tackled us and literally given us pens. Like they literally handed us 3 points on a platter, I think.
Does Garnacho get credit for that though? You know, because he won both penalties. Because he won the penalties just by really just, you know, he tricked the defenders. First one, shifts it the other way, sticks a leg out, penalty. Same with the next one. Terrible tackle, awful tackle.
Yeah.
So does he get credit for that?
I definitely do give him credit, but I do think Everton's defenders were horrendous in their decision making and giving away those penalties. But you have to give credit to Garnacho. I think he had a very solid game today.
Yeah, well, Everton were just horrendous in general. They're just a really bad team, actually, to be honest with you. But then we're not a great team either. What do you think about Casemiro? We spoke about him a lot today. Have his legs gone? Is he someone that's just in a bad system? Is there still greatness in there? What do you think about Casemiro?
He doesn't fit the system that Erik ten Hag is trying to play, in my opinion. So if we continue with him, he has to go, in my opinion. I still think there is a decent player there, but I do agree that his legs are gone and maybe he should play in a slower league and we need someone who's a bit more technically better on the ball.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Because remember last season when he came in and he was passing the ball pretty well. We were going, oh,
exactly.
See, there's more to his game than just this. He can pass the ball. But today it was just on another level. And I don't know that. You know, like sometimes people can have bad games and people just pass the ball and it's not great. You go, he's having one today, but that happens a lot with him. And it is really, really concerning. It is really, really worrying. Marcus Rashford, he got a goal today, scored a penalty. What did you make of his overall performance? Did he show a bit more? Has he shown a bit more since he did the interview?
You know what? I agree with the last caller. The last caller said that he was actually tracking back. Imagine that, a player that is supposed to be up front for us coming back to help with defense as well. Yeah, it's a miracle, right, Owen?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he was doing more of the basics that we expect of our players. When you defend as a team and you attack as a team, like previously before that, he was not tracking back at all. And we would always be susceptible to counterattacks from the opposing team because of that. But he was actually doing his job to an extent, better than he's been before, but we can always expect more, in my opinion. He took his penalty very well, though. Yeah. Very good penalty.
And did you see his reaction afterwards when his celebration? It was less of the point to the head, it was more just a big scream. He just sort of screamed.
he needed help from Dalot to do his points, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He just needed to scream at the Stretford end. When it comes to next week, though, Liverpool. If we're talking this time, well, it's on I think it's on the Sunday, isn't it? But if we're talking after the game, on Sunday. What do you think we're going to be talking about? Are we going to be talking about some disastrous, terrible, horrible day? Or are we going to be talking about, oh, yeah, we did lose, but it's kind of what we expected? Or are we going to be talking about, I can't believe we're through. I can't believe we knocked him out. This is incredible. How do you see it going?
So I see it going one of two ways. I see us getting Liverpool down to our level and we sneak a win, or it's murder on a dance floor.
Oh, Sophie Ellis Bex the settings.
Yep, exactly. That's literally what I think could happen.
DJ, what was KG always? DJ.
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 Oh my days. But what's it? What was I gonna say? Got it. So I'm really concerned for next week, to be very honest with you. I don't know I really don't know what to expect. And you know what? Whatever religion you follow, or if you're an atheist, either pray or have hope, because that's the only way we can prepare ourselves mentally for that game.
Yeah, I mean, when the tactics are prayer, that's when we're in really difficult situations. Big up Lil Yo with an evil laugh to wrap it up as well. I tell you what, he's a crafty one, Lil Yo, isn't he? He's a crafty one with the Kevin Gary actor as well. Oh, he's something else. Chalaboy Comics with a super chat here says, Onana Simsima. Oh, I'm not going to get this reference, but I do because of I saw a clip on at BBC. Who's going to be the FA Cup winner? Beanie Man. Oh, I explained it. Thanks. Thanks, mate. I'd have definitely not got that. Let's go for it, lads. United win. I knew, like at the start, I thought this is going to be really above my head. But I do know that because there's a clip of Michael Owen being asked about it. And he thinks it's chitty chitty bang bang. And it's great. He's like, oh, is that the one? Oh no, it's not chitty chitty bang bang. You think he's going at chim chimney? Is it that one? Chim chimney? I know who Beanie Man is. I'm always growing. It's all about growth here. That's what it is. I'm always learning, always thinking. Big up to you, Channel Boy Comics, with the a big head and a big heart today. Anyway, guys, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Have a good weekend. I'm out of here. Peace.